Welcome to the Wraps video studio at Sundance. We are here with director Rose McGowan, director of the short film Dawn. Welcome, Rose.
Thank you for having me.
So, I watched the short this morning. I thought it was really good, but for the folks at home, can you sort of describe what it's about so they know what we're talking about?
The short film Dawn it's 17 minutes, and I set out to make a proper movie that just happened to be 17 minutes long. So it's a 3-act structure. I set it in 1961. It's about a young girl who, through the forces of her mother and society's expectations of women and the archetypes of men that she is attracted to, basically she loses her internal voice and which she needs to save herself.
Now, this is a period film, correct? I was wondering, can you explain that decision? Because I thought it would still resonate with young people today, but why go period?
I think I went period just because, one, I like period films. I hosted a show on TCM for a year. I'm kind of a film geek, and I kind of peter out around 1963 with my favorites. But it lent itself to that time. My mother was raised by a very 50s mom, and there's a real schism in women. She just turned 60. Women of that age where they were raised to be perfect and please men. And this is like this bubble period in time. I said it in 1961, so you give it like 5 years, then all of a sudden we're into like sexual revolutions happening and bra burning and things like that. And this was this golden moment when the last dying gasp of this kind of faux America utopia took place. And I wanted that. I wanted that thing. I could have done it now, but it wouldn't have been to me as substantial.
What's the lead actor's name? Because I thought he had this kind of sweetness behind the eyes, but also this menacing physicality.
His name is Riley McClendon, and he's amazing. And just, back in the olden days, you could, swing a tree, and Gary Cooper would fall out. And there's not a lot of men anymore. I wanted somebody that was young, but looks like in 5 years they'll grow up to be a man. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, if you notice, a lot of the male actors in America, they're not overly masculine, and that's why we seem to import them from Australia, England, Ireland, and other places, whereas the ones here that are very famous kind of grew up as child actors. Mm-hmm. So they have a softness to them. They've never had a real job. And one of my things was like, God, I want somebody that looks like, in another time they would have swung a pickaxe. And I said, Riley, what have you been doing? And I said, well, I took a break from acting. I've been working on a construction crew. I guess you could say I swing a pickaxe. And I was like, God, I love you.
There you go. Now, you've been to Sundance before as an actress. This is your first time as a director. What is that like? What's it like getting that call from the festival?
Getting the call, I literally felt like this weight off my shoulders that I didn't know had been on my shoulders, and just this, I felt like I could have sank to my knees just in happiness. And it's so, the caliber of people that they choose and the fact that they are so about cinema. A lot of the stuff I've done has been more about box office, not my, motivation, but the other people's motivation. Sure. And this is to be around cinema lovers and film lovers like me and to be recognized by them. And also as an actress, you really just feel like, I always felt like I was, you get kind of pimped to get people to come see a movie, to be honest.
Sure.
And to basically represent myself in a substantial way. It's not even myself, I'm just representing the fact that I have a voice. Imagine the only thing anybody's ever heard from you are lines somebody else has written.
Right.
And when you do interviews, you're talking about the lines somebody else has written. And very often those people are men, and you're really only seeing through their lens, which can often be a very narrow view.
Yeah, do you have any desire to turn this into a feature at any point, or?
If I was going to do a feature with it, I'd start from the very end of the movie and follow him and follow kind of what happens, the aftermath.
Interesting.
Of that. That's what interests me.
Okay.
And to do something, I want to do something that's kind of gender neutral. This is, as much as it's about a girl, I feel like my brain is somewhat gender neutral. Do I think a man would have been interested in thinking about girl culture in 1961? Probably not. But I did, and what I'd like to focus on now is the more masculine side of that.
Okay.
Same culture.
Do you guys have any plans for the short after the festival, or?
Well, it will be entered in other festivals, and there's a company that wants to buy it, and then I don't know what they do with shorts exactly. I'd never seen a short till 3 months ago.
Interesting.
Which was odd. And I think that helped me in a lot of ways because it wasn't like just a scene of a movie. I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different than just to make a movie. And I want to do a feature, obviously, and I'm gearing up for that right now. And to have 90 minutes is going to be a huge luxury.